Given the slew of Slate devices that have dribbled into the mainstream of late, you can definitely say that it's tablet season. Sony has turned its hand to creating tablets before with the not-so-successful Xperia Tablet S and the Sony Tablet P, but perhaps sensing that the competition is hotting up and possibly looking to cash in on the success of the Xperia Z smartphone, the firm has launched this, the Sony Xperia Tablet Z. If you're watching this on YouTube and want to read what we've written about this device, just click the Know Your Mobile button to go straight through to the review. If you're watching this actually on the Know Your Mobile website, the words will be down there somewhere. Now, in the aesthetics department, tablets can span everything from conventionally boring and functional to looking so good that it's a shame to muzz them up with your incessant prodding. This device definitely falls into the latter category. The first thing to hit you is that massive screen. It's 10.1-inch LCD number that's backlit and benefits from Sony's Mobile Bravia Engine 2 technology, but more on that in a bit. It's also improbably thin at just 6.9mm, meaning that it's the thinnest Slate device around at the moment, and at 495 grams, this tab won't be weighing down your bag or whatever you decide to keep it in. Round the side, you'll find connectivity ports, the volume rocker, 3.5mm audio jack and power on situated on the left-hand edge, and the microSD and mini USB on the bottom. Oddly though, all the ports bar the machined aluminium on-off switch and the microSD slot are not marked as such and are covered by little flaps, making it a bit of a guessing game when you want to select the right one for hooking stuff up to it. The reasoning for this, well the reasoning for the presence of them flaps at least, is not only is the Xperia Tablet Z a high-end Android tablet packed full of functionality, but the Xperia Tablet Z is a high-end Android tablet packed full of functionality that's also waterproof up to 3 feet for up to 30 minutes. That's what the fish tank was for, oh yes. You see, the Xperia Tablet Z is what's known as IPX5/7 certified, which basically means you can subject it to all kinds of wetness within reason, and it's also dustproof too. You can even use it in the shower! We all know the waterproof elements, as good as they are for extending the situations you can use the tablet in, do restrict what you can do with it, as the capacitive touchscreen is unresponsive underwater. This is because capacitive screens work by creating a weak electrical field which is then interrupted by your finger. When there's water in the way, this isn't possible. You can still set a movie playing and then watch it while submerged if you so wish, but we think the main idea of this whole waterproof thing is to avoid killing your tablet should you accidentally subject it to the wet stuff, or as a selling point for those who just have to use their Slate outdoors. So that's the waterproof USB covered, but what about the software, and more importantly, how does it perform? Well, the Xperia Tablet Z features Android 4.1.2 as the operating system of choice, and whilst this isn't the most up-to-date version of the Google platform, there is a planned update for the not-too-distant future. In terms of a manufacturer overlay, Sony has come on leaps and bounds since the days of lumping users with Timescape, and you'll now see some clean icons as well as the option to pin 4 always there shortcuts to a bar at the top of the screen. These can be whatever you like and will be displayed no matter which of the 5 home screens you're in. Quite handy, we think you'll agree. There's also a quick access shortcut bar at the bottom of the interface that's permanently displayed and springs up useful tools such as a note-taking app, calculator and native browser. Elsewhere, this tablet excels in the display department. A 1200 by 1920 resolution backlit LCD number is in place, backed up by Sony's Mobile Bravia Engine 2 technology. This uses a set of image processing algorithms to ensure that images and video are rendered to a high quality, with sharpness filters added, effective colour management and contrast enhancements, with the effects added depending on what's being displayed on the screen. The PPI of 224 is outdone slightly by the Google Nexus 10's 229, but performance across the board is impressive to say the least, whether you're admiring images captured with the 8.1 megapixel rear camera, watching a movie or web browsing. Speaking of browsing, that kind of thing is looked after by the Chrome and Sony native browsers we mentioned earlier, and is generally quite swift owing to the 1.5 GHz Snapdragon processor backed up by 2 gigs of RAM. As per, you can see all the benchmarking results in the written review, but if you're not particularly troubled by all that kind of stuff, we can tell you that you'll have few problems aside from a slightly oversensitive reaction to the multi-touch screen that can result in zooming all over the place and opening links you didn't want to open. And that's pretty much that. Connectivity options are plentiful and you'll get Bluetooth 4.0, AGPS, micro USB and DLNA amongst other things. The camera can shoot 1080p video and captures acceptable, if not spectacular, images at 8.1 megapixels. There's also a whole load of Sony's own content options, including Video Unlimited and the Music Unlimited streaming service. When it comes to battery life, things are as you'd expect. A charge a day will suffice for general use, i.e. browsing, emails and the odd spot of gaming, but stream video and the juice will diminish pretty swiftly. Sony has included its stamina mode feature that disables 3G radios and Wi-Fi when the screen is off, and this helps it go for longer. However, it does render falling asleep whilst listening to stream music nigh on impossible, as you have to make sure the screen is alive to prevent your enjoyment from ending. So, is this one worth shelling out for then? At around 500 quid for the 32 gig Wi-Fi version, you'll want to think long and hard before parting with your cash, but this tab is well worth it. It's thin, it's light, and it has an aesthetic sheen that will certainly turn heads. Yes, that battery life might put a few people off, and some will say that the cheaper Google Nexus 10 offers a better screen for a cheaper price. But if you have a job or hobby that requires you to use your tab outdoors, are a bit clumsy, or just like to take your tablets with a bit of water, this Sony offering is a good bet.